Hello, I'm Chris. This is Gross Models, and welcome to day 2 of 30 Days Lost in Space. Today, we are using some electronics and components. I've dug out the components already. We've got an LED and a 220 ohm resistor and 2 wires. I've reset the board back to its blink configuration just to make sure everything's zeroed and working again. I've got the breadboard out, and I have upgraded my kit a little bit with a board from a crafting table, which basically is just a plastic board that the hero board is bolted to and the breadboard is stuck to, just to make it easier to keep everything together in one place. So I've got the wire holding that together, and that's all nicely assembled and easy to operate now, rather than having individual components all over the place. So that is what we've got now. That's what we're going to need to wire up. We'll have a look at the intro video and see exactly what it is that we're going to be doing today.
Rise and shine, explorer. The cruel march of time has ushered in yet another day, and our oxygen clock continues to tick. Don't you just love the thrill of a life or death situation first thing in the morning? Today's topic of choice is LEDs. Yes, those delightful little lights that we're going to employ to illuminate your currently very dark and dank cabin. We'll be getting to know our humble breadboard quite intimately today. This remarkable piece of technology will allow us to construct a prototype circuit, a miniaturized version of your ship's cabin lights. As for our trusty hero board, we're going to use it to control our LEDs simulating the operation of the cabin lights. Oh, and one more thing. Today's the day we suit up and dive headfirst into the wonderful world of programming. We'll start with baby steps, don't worry. I'll be virtually by your side every step of the way, providing my usual blend of encouragement and biting sarcasm.
Now, as ever, I won't be going through all of the video, but I shall pick out some highlights for you. The first thing is she's going to tell us about the breadboard. I shall do that myself in a moment, and I shall show you about wiring it up as well. She talks about LEDs and things. I'll do that for you. Don't worry about that. Ohms and things. Then she talks about the coding. We'll come back and talk about the coding in a minute. The circuit is not really a circuit diagram. It's more of a circuit picture. But this is what we're going to be setting up. I shall show you that down on the bench. So the first thing to learn about is the circuit board. There's the breadboard, rather. The breadboard is made up of strips, basically metal contacts that run through. The long pieces either end are connected all the way along. Each of those 25 holes is one strip, as is the next one, as are the two on the other end. The ones in the middle are connected in the opposite direction, but with a break in the middle. So those 5 are connected. Those 5 are connected, but not to each other. So those 5 over here are all one strip. These ones here are one strip. These ones here are one strip. It makes it nice and easy to connect things together. So what we're doing is plugging in from the two pins from the board. I should, 2 pins from the board. I've got the ground and pin 12, because that's what she told me to do. Basically, each of those is just going into one strip of 5. One down there, one down the bottom section, just because. And it doesn't matter which strip of 5, but there we go. I shall plug a resistor into the positive side and then bring that up to the other half. About there. Again, doesn't really matter which one, but that's where that's going to go. And I shall tell you about the LED and show you where that's going to plug in. Okay, so LEDs, different colours working exactly the same way. The important thing to worry is one leg is longer than the other, as you can see there. The long leg is the positive side. The short leg is obviously the negative side. The negative side also has a flat part to the plastic, as you can just about see there. This side is flat and the other side is rounded. So that will tell you which one's which as well. So that needs to be plugged into there. I shall plug in the positive side next to the resistor and the negative side over next to the black connector there. So that just plugs in there like that. And that's all the electronics wired up. Next up, I just need to worry about the electronics, the coding side of things. So let's have a look and see what she tells us about that, and then see if I can figure out the coding myself.
Moving on to another cornerstone of programming, variables. A variable in programming is like a small box where you can store information. You give this box a unique name and fill it with a specific type of information, and then you can use that information by referring to the box's name. It's like labeling your food in the ship's refrigerator so no one else eats your leftover pizza. Variables can store different types of information. In C++, the language you're currently wrestling with, we have different variable types for different kinds of information. It's a bit like having different types of storage containers for different types of food. You wouldn't store your cereal in a water bottle, would you? One such type is an integer, often abbreviated as int. An integer can store whole numbers, both positive and negative, such as 1, 5, -42, or 0. The syntax to declare an integer variable in your code looks like this. Here, int is the data type. My variable is the variable name, and 10 is the value that we're storing in the variable. The equal sign is how we assign a value to a variable. Now, every time we use my variable in our code, it represents the value 10. Variable names cannot start with a number, contain spaces, or use any characters like $signs or hashtags. Keep in mind, the name my variable is up to you. You could name it Space Cat, or oxygen level, or number of aliens I've met. The important thing is that the name should be meaningful in the context of your program.
Okay, that's quite enough of that for now. The sketch, the programming, is massive, but most of it is just remarks and instructions. So it's telling us about everything, all about LEDs, which I've gone through most of anyway. So what they have usefully done is just provide a shorter version of it, telling us exactly what we're going to do. So let me copy that into the coding, and we'll see how it works. Okay, so what we've got is, first of all, we're defining cabin lights 12, pin 12. So cabin lights pin is 12. Pin mode, cabin lights pin, output. So we told it what the socket we're using, number 12 on the board. Nice and easy. Then the void setup, as we remember, we're just running once, telling us what things are doing. The pin mode, what we're calling cabin lights pin, which is basically what we could have just called it 12. And we're setting that as an output because it's a light, so that's what we've got. Then the void loop, the thing that's going all the way through, we're setting the cabin lights pin to high, we're waiting a second, then we're setting it to low and waiting a tenth of a second. So that'll make it flash more quickly. I understand that. That makes sense to me. We'll see if it works. Let's compile it. It should work because it's code that they provided. And then we'll upload that to the thing, and that should start flashing on for a second, and then briefly flashing off, and then coming on again. Let's see what happens. We get the transmit and receive lights flashing on there first, and we do indeed have the light flashing on and flashing off once every second, or 1.1 second technically. So yeah, I understand that. I like how that works. What I will do will be to change the numbers again just to make sure. So if I was to make that half a second again and have it off for 4 hundredths of a second, let's upload that. So then it'll be on less and off, almost equally on and off, but not quite. That makes sense to me. I understand that. I like it when I understand things. So you could put comments in there to make sure it leaves things. So if I just put after that, if I put / secret comment, then it wouldn't actually read that. I can send that through and it will be exactly the same. I think it just uses up a little bit more memory, but I don't know if that actually gets sent to the board or not. Either way, Not very much at all. We're using 0% of the memory on the board for now. So that is that. Day 2 completed. I shall power up the AI, have a word, let her know what we've done, and see what she has to say. So, hey Astrid, we've just done day 2. We've got our single LED up and flashing. I'm quite happy with that. So, Astrid, we've just completed day 2. I've got my single LED up and flashing, and I'm quite happy with how it's worked out.
Nice work, Cadet. That blinking LED is your first step toward getting off this rock. Now that you've got a handle on digital output, are you ready to level up? Maybe try controlling multiple LEDs or even playing with the timing. What's your next move?
Well, I've already played with the timing a little bit, so yeah, I think I'll plug in another LED. Can I use pin 13 for that?
Good thinking, but be careful with pin 13. It has a built in LED already connected to it, which can sometimes cause unexpected behavior when you add an external LED. It's best to use another digital pin, like pin 12 or 11, to keep things clean and predictable. Go ahead and wire up that second LED. Want a challenge? Try making them blink in an alternating pattern, one on, one off. Think you can figure out the code for that?
I think I probably can. I shall use pin 11 and get it going, and we'll see exactly how that works. Right, I have changed the wiring a little bit to tidy things up a little bit. I've put the ground to the ground rail, so I can connect both the LEDs to the ground rail rather than having a separate wire going backwards and forwards. I have got a second wire going from pin 11 to another resistor to a green LED, and basically just plug that back in to go to the ground rail instead of directly to that. So that should be that. So once I get back to the code, the sketch, I should be able to convert that and write something new. So let's go to the sketch and see what I can do. Right, let's see if I've got this in my head right now. I've defined red lights as pin 12 and green lights as pin 11, just because cabin didn't work for me anymore because I need 2 of them. I think I need to say define on both of them, but I'm not entirely certain. But I'm going to leave it there because I think I do. The void setup is the same, but I've just set up a green light pin as an output and red light pin as an output. Then the loop, I've added green lights high, red lights low, and waiting half a second, and then green lights low and red lights high, and waiting half a second, and that will loop round. So they should flash between each other every half second. They'll switch. I think I haven't compiled this to check, so let's make sure. It's compiled, it's sorted, it's happy. That's an interesting thing. So as long as it's happy, then I'm happy. Let's upload it and see. Done compiling. That's not working. Green is not coming on. Why is the green not coming on? Let me just make sure that I've got the wires connected to the right places. And I've got it the correct way round. That is the positive. Yeah, that should be working. Let me double check to make sure by plugging the green one over here. Yep, the green one is in fact working. So it's not that the bulb's blown. Something is not working with my code. So let's go back to the code. Plug this back in again. Check to make sure I have in fact got that plugged in properly over there. I've not used 11. That is 13. Numbering system is different. So 11 is actually the one down there. The connections are not great between there, but there we go. double check your connections, everybody. So yes, there we go. Alternating between the two of those. Nice stuff. So that makes sense to me. I understand that now. Yeah, let's see. That's that for today. Tomorrow I shall be returning and doing something different. What am I going to be doing tomorrow? Let's see and continue, and we'll see. Tomorrow is the battery levels. We're worried about my battery levels. So yeah, we're going to introduce a switch. So I shall see you for that in the next episode. So thanks for watching. Stay safe. I'll see you soon. Bye bye for now.